Awesome, thank you, Leanne. Good evening all and welcome to tonight's segment of Let's Talk About Ice live on our Facebook page. Guys, before we actually start, speaking out to you there, give us a hello, say hello, some kisses. I want to ask you for a favour. I'd like you to share this video and this post on your Facebook page. Guys, you don't know who you're going to touch and whose life you can change by sharing these stories, okay? We do this in the name of education and awareness in hope that people can understand the dangers of ice and consequences of drugs. Nobody likes coming on the show and coming and airing their dirty laundry and talking about their personal story live to thousands of people, but we do it in hope that other people don't have to make the same mistakes as us, and where the lifelong consequences associated with drug addiction and specifically ice. So I'm going to ask you tonight to please share this post on your Facebook page, and so that and other people can share that with people who need help. Okay, we are here to help families help their loved ones through addiction and into recovery, and we're also here to help people who are in addiction recognize that we've been able to come out of that space, and we want to help you to be able to make that transition into recovery, because it's so much better on the other side and you're worth it. Apart from that, AARC educate in schools and communities through forums and in your workplaces about the dangers of ice and other drugs. You know, most people say to me when we have the conversation about what we do, they say, oh yes, we've heard about that drug and we know all about it, we know how bad it is, and then I say, you do? What does it look like? And you'll be surprised how many people have no idea what ice looks like, how it's taken, the effects of it on the brain, the body, short and long term, how it affects the frontal lobe, how it destroys your memory, and it leaves scars long term. So, I urge communities out there, workplaces, educate your workers against the dangers of ice. They don't want to pick that up. It'll destroy your business. Schools, we're here to protect our kids and our next generation. So get informed and understand, the short, long-term consequences of ice addiction. So, before I introduce our guest tonight, there's a couple of things that I need, what do you call that? What? Homekeeping or housekeeping, that's the word. Sorry, hippocampus word. Upcoming events. Firstly, I'd like to thank Peter Hill. I'd like to thank, he's an MP for the Wills area in Victoria. And he actually, if you have a look at our Facebook page, he drove our campaign into government and made them aware about what AARC are doing, and that we require funding at state and national level. So thank you so much, Peter Cahill. Together we can put the freeze on ice in our nation, and we look forward to working with you and your community in the next forum and rolling out the education program throughout your community. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful that we can help protect your community and do that together. So thanks for driving that in. I saw that was a brilliant speech. And yeah, if you want to come and work with us, we'd love to have you. So all of that aside, we have a couple of events coming up. We've got the South Australia Sparkle with Suzette on the 10th of November. So if you are in Adelaide and you want to help the cause, Sparkle with Suzette in Adelaide on the 10th of November. It is a fundraising event for AARC to help us educate more youth on the dangers of ice. Now guys, it costs us $10 to educate one youth. And it doesn't take a lot. It's it's a lunch, not even a lunch, half a lunch, but a couple of cups of coffee, and it helps us protect that next youth on the dangers of ice. So it costs us $10. If you want to help, if you're not in Adelaide and you want to help, go onto our website and you can donate there. And thank you for Brian Vaughan. You've just helped us educate 10 kids. So please click onto that website and click the donate now, and just become part of the change. Okay, ice is affecting generations, 2 generations down now, and getting worse. So we need to do something, and we need to do something different. And we're calling on you in the community to help us do that. So if you want to help us educate a youth, please help us on our website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. We also, I have to let you know about the raffle tickets. Now, the Melbourne raffle tickets have not been drawn yet. We are still selling raffle tickets. We hope to do that before Christmas. But let me tell you, if you haven't bought a raffle ticket yet, you are missing out, because we have 3 amazing prizes. Now, the tickets are available for sale on our Facebook page, or you can contact our Melbourne office. And they can help you. They have different areas that you can go and pick up your ticket or purchase your ticket through them. So some of the prizes, just to give you an idea, you have Melbourne dinner cruise on the river for 6 people. You've got a wine tour in Mornington Peninsula, and overnight cruise for 2 people at the Sydney Harbour. So that's just some of the prizes, but I've also got, there's probably about 30 other prizes. We've got things like the Piccolo portraits. We've got My Little Tribe photography. What's that? I can't see. I need my glasses.
Direct chemist outlet.
Oh, direct chemist outlet. You can see he's younger than me, you see.
Package of women's beauty products.
All right, come on, Kyle. Come and help me read this out.
Package of women's beauty products.
Yeah.
Massage, facials and beauty products.
Woohoo. Could do that.
Professional tennis lessons.
Wow.
That's active.
That's cool. And Bloom Entertainment have a gift voucher 5 by $100. Bunnings Jumbuck.
Rondo mini spit charcoal roaster.
Wow, yum. And an esky. So we have a bakery, food vouchers, more food vouchers by Indulge, Woolworths gift cards, Grilled Northlands, Lamana direct gift cards, 4 by $50, and another 2 by $50 hampers. Thank you, Lamana. Paradise Bakery, Italian biscuits, valued at $30 for 2 packets for $30 each. That shop in Doreen, clothes voucher for $30, and Pancake Parlour pack by 2. So there's a lot of prizes here, guys, and I really, Christmas is coming up, and, for $25, you can, be in the draw for these prizes, and you're helping a charity. So it costs us $10 to educate one youth against the dangers of ice and other drugs, and here's your opportunity to help and also be in the running for the winnings of those amazing prizes. Apart from that, guys, I'd like to do a big shout out to William. William, thank you so much for the fridge that you donated to the head office here. Our fridge broke down. I got back from Cairns and we had a new fridge. Thank you, William. Thank you. The staff, all the volunteers here are able to put their lunches in there, and we're really grateful. And the Cairns new office. We now have an establishment in Cairns that we are doing up. So we've got to put flooring on the ground, and we're looking for some desks, some computers, a printer. So if you're from Cairns and you want to help, here's your opportunity. It's by giving that we receive, guys. And, when you give, you actually do get a lot more back. And one of the things that you do get is helping your community, stop this ice epidemic within your region. So you can help protect other people from being affected by this drug, because we're there to do the work. And we are volunteers. We need your help. So I'm so excited about the Cairns office coming together. And so if you're from Cairns, please, we need your help. And Mariba Barcordon are ready to embark in the art competition next year. So both Mariba and Barcordon in Central Queensland. If you are from the area, now's your opportunity to reach out and put yourself into that event. Okay, we're going to need your support. We will be rolling out an art competition for youth in high schools from year 7 to 12 early next year. And all the youth in those regions, Mariba, Tablelands and Barcordon, they're ready to start the art competition, and there's major prizes, and we need to speak to the Rotaries and the councils and get the community involved in displaying these amazing art pieces. The message that we're sharing is not even once, and that is what we're here to talk to you about tonight. So, without further ado, I'd like you to welcome to the show Kyle. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
It is awesome. I don't know a lot about Kyle. I know through a friend that he has an amazing testimony to share. So I'm so excited to hear how you're here. You know, I'm not excited to hear about what happened to you, Kyle, but I'm really excited that you have come out the other end and you're able to share with us and people out there what happened. You know, and I know from personal experience, it's of it. Always attached with devastation and destruction. So thank you for sharing it. I know it's not an easy task to do, and I guess I'm going to start by asking what on my mind, which probably what guys out there are thinking the same thing. How old are you?
30 years old, yeah.
And by my understanding, you spent some time locked up.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and it had to do with drugs and
drugs were the cause, yeah.
What happened, Kyle? Like, when did you start using drugs? Like,
I smoked a bit of weed in high school.
Yep.
Then led on to, it wasn't the gateway drug, but led on to turning 18 and wanted to party in nightclubs.
Yep.
Which led to other ecstasy and eventually meth, ice.
Yeah. And like, obviously in high school, you know, the teachers and people know they do drug education. You would have been told that, you know, marijuana wasn't good for you, pot.
I was told all drugs were bad.
Yeah. So what were you thinking? Like,
I was curious.
Yeah.
Curious, young,
Yeah.
naive.
Your friends were doing it?
Friends were doing it. Thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see anyone die from it or anything
Nah,
like that?
not in front of me, no.
Yeah.
Nah, just sort of wanted to be in the in crowd.
Yeah. And accepted, and that's usually like how things can start, you know. Did you go into drinking alcohol and stuff like that, partying? And then you did the ecstasy scene.
Yeah, when I turned 18, the nightclub scene, ecstasy.
Yep.
Was introduced to meth, and that just led on to a whole new lifestyle.
Yeah.
Enjoyed partying, enjoyed staying up. Which started off on a weekend.
Yep.
Which then carried on. I didn't want the party to stop.
Yep.
Didn't want the high to end.
Yep.
Which led on to Mondays and Tuesdays, which led on to a bad addiction to ice because that's what kept me awake.
Yep.
Yeah.
And usually that's the journey, you know. You hear it again and again, guys. You know, just using ice recreationally, it doesn't happen. Yeah, very, very quickly it turns into a daily habit and it takes over your life, you know.
It does.
And very quickly you're using it every day to just function.
I did because I couldn't function on a Monday.
Wow.
Because I'd stayed up since Thursday or partied since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I couldn't function on Monday or Tuesday without it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to function properly at work. On a construction site, I'd put myself in dangerous situations from fatigue, from poor decision making.
Yep.
And eventually ended in me losing my job.
Wow. How long did that take to happen, Carl?
I guess
how long did you keep it together?
The recreational use, when it was just weekends, I held it together. I did 3 years of an electrical apprenticeship. With recreational, just party use. It was probably becoming dependent on it, probably 6 months. Yeah.
And what happened, you know, back, you know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when you were using, you know, the concentration, they call it the purity. It's not any purer, trust me, but they call it the purity, but it's the concentration of that of the gear that's being sold out on the streets, you know, was around 25-30% concentration purity. Now, today on our streets, we've got gear being sold at a concentration level of about 80 to 90%. Okay, what that means is that it's stronger than ever before. What that means to the user is that straight away it starts to break down the neurological pathways in the brain. Straight away it hijacks the frontal lobe and starts to affect the organs, your heart, your kidneys, and your vascular system a lot quicker. And it just, the cycle, the breakdown cycle is very, very quick in today's gear out there. You know, I'm like you, 6 years clean, and I think that was, you know, the long-term consequences that are aware, and that whole journey was like a big, massive nightmare. That, you know, over a 2-year span, but we're not seeing that today. We're seeing, months, people just absolutely destroying their lives within months, and if they make it out alive the other end, long-term scars and effects. But
Absolutely.
there was some, long-term effects that this drug lifestyle left on you, Kyle. Do you want to talk about what happened, like what led you into prison and?
I guess I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So you could assume that maybe I was in drug psychosis.
Yeah.
Lost my job.
Yeah.
So then I wasn't working and I was running out of money. I pushed. It turned me into a person that didn't care for my family, or friends or loved ones, and I've got a really good family, a really loving family. I had a really good upbringing.
Yeah.
So I was, at the time, sort of still disappointed in myself and embarrassed, but the state of mind I was in, I didn't care.
Yeah.
It just puts me in a stage of no empathy, not caring for consequences of action. So I made very poor choices. And so I'd stay awake for a very long time. Pushed all my close support network away from me, so I was on my own. And which then led to me making, of course, you're not working, you got no money, and you got an addiction to a drug. And so it led to me making really poor decisions in crime world, in the criminal world, which results in some very serious consequences.
Yeah.
And I went to jail for 7 years.
Wow. And what was that like? Was there help in there? Was there?
No,
did you have rehab in there?
There's no help in jail. No. Which is another reason not to do it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really scary. Like I hear about, we work with people, and they're wanting to, when they get to the point of, I've got to go to jail, so I better make some changes. Did you not have that opportunity? Was there
not at all.
Drug court or?
No, drug court's no longer there.
Wow.
There's no drug court anymore. There's no therapy. Jail doesn't have time for therapy. You can see a psychiatrist who will prescribe you sedative drugs to settle you down or put you to sleep or make you easier to manage.
I can't even imagine what going to jail would be like, Kyle. Like, can you give us a bit of an insight on what that's like? Because I know that there's people out there watching and that are using, because this link's been shared to you, and I really want you to be aware. It's not a joke. 7 years inside. We get to speak to people like Kyle who can give us an insight. That's where you're going. The end result of ice addiction, ice use, you're going to end up in 3 places. You're going to end up with serious mental health issues. You're going to end up in prison or dead. That's the end result.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you come out, some of us have come out and it's not unscarred. It's not unscarred. Kidney issues, heart problems. Others have long-term issues as well because of this drug. So I want you to hear, some of the inside story that Kyle's going to share about what it's like on the inside. Do you feel comfortable sharing that?
Well, the consequences are, out here you still have the ability to get help.
Yeah.
So if there's a time to stop it, it's out here. Because you have family and friends and organisations like this who can help, and that's a lot easier. In jail, there's no therapy. If you think you're alone out here, when you're in there, you're alone.
Wow.
With a lot of other unpredictable people who are going through the same thing. There is no support. Not in terms of drug related where you're coming off an addiction.
Yeah.
So there's no therapy, there's no support. The officers in there won't help.
Yeah.
If anything, they hinder. So you're left on your own to deal with it, and you're left on your own in solitude, locked in a cell for most hours of the day now.
Wow.
So my advice is the result. A lot of the time, the result is jail, and you don't want to have to come off this drug in jail.
No.
It's just like what I say to people. They say, "What's jail like?" I said, it's pretty much like being in a queue for a line that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years long.
Wow.
Like people out here get upset about it. I laugh about a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
They go, he's 15 minutes late. I was in a 7-year waiting line. But that's what I say now. Just think of it as you are on your own. Yeah, and you are left on your own, and you have a lot of time with your own thoughts to think, and that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you can't work through them, because ICE doesn't allow you to, your frontal lobe of your brain is hijacked, and it's so messy and defragmented that you can't process logic, rational decisions. So, you know, things come into your head and they're just so irrational, and you can't seem to work through it without a bit of help and support. It takes a long time, doesn't it?
A long time. A very long time.
And how did you process that? How long did it take for you to come out of the depression and anxiety?
Me personally, I guess it's just become accepting your surroundings.
Yeah.
But my advice, like you have to, we adapt to situations and circumstances. It took me a while to come off the effects of this drug, but in terms of jail, you still have to accept and adapt. Otherwise, you aren't gonna manage or cope in there.
Yeah.
So some people, I've seen blokes leave prison as one person, and they get out and get on this drug, and they come back 12 months later, and they're a completely different person.
Amazing.
And their eyes, they look through you like it's just an evil substance.
Yeah.
There's no other drug that I've seen people come in for the effects of that are as severe as this, and they're different people. You don't even know them.
Yeah, it destroys your soul. It really does.
It does. It's evil. It's pure evil.
So, what, like, when you were working, what were your mates? Did they see you destroying yourself?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Did they reach out to you, or?
I guess some people express their concern, but I guess I'd either push them away, or I'd try and keep it a lot darker. I'd try and hide it so that they weren't quite aware of how serious it was.
What about your family? Like, did they know that you were using?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I was about 15, 20 kilos lighter than I am now.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So that was like 30 kilos or something?
30 kilos. Not quite.
You've got lots of muscles now. So
yeah, lots of muscles, yeah. You don't get these on the ice. No, but yeah, the signs were noticeable. My mum, my family, they're beautiful people, and they said they didn't even know me.
That's amazing.
And it was heartbreaking. Yeah. It was heartbreaking for them.
And could you see that they were hurting?
Absolutely. Oh, no. Yes, but you don't want to deal with that. Just like everything else, you don't want to deal with that at the time. And this drug made me not care.
Yeah.
I guess if it's a defence mechanism of your brain, but it didn't make me care about rational decisions. And I'm a very rational person, and I always like to think how my actions affect other people. Yeah. But on this drug, that's not the case.
It blocks it, doesn't it?
It does.
Carl, it really blocks your emotion. You are able to act on the midbrain, really. The midbrain takes over. So your logic, rational decision is not in place. Your emotions are blocked, so you can do whatever you need to get the drug, even if it means hurting people that you love. Yeah. And that is the danger, because, you know, I know people that are in prison, and they've really hurt family members physically and mentally, and they can't take some of that back, you know, Carl.
No, you can't.
And all of that doesn't, being in prison doesn't make what you did right. It's the consequence, like the consequence of ice use, and it's long lasting, and you can't press rewind like on a video. So I'm kind of imagining most people out there I know that think, oh yeah, drug use comes from bad upbringing. It comes from families that are broken. Not necessarily. As you can see, I myself am the same. I had a beautiful family with lots of love, really well educated, and taught right from wrong. And you know drugs aren't good for you. You know that, but other people do it, and they've come out alive. And you want to be curious, you want to fit in, you want to be loved, you want to do the cool thing, and then you embark on a journey that you wish you could change. But if you can get out alive, it's too late. You can't wipe that out. So that's why we do what we do about warning and educating and showing the consequences. The choice is always yours, but it doesn't lead to anything good. Hey. No,
and if you think you got it under control, it's just like people say they have one drink, and then they have a second drink. By the time they get that second drink, there's 3 and 4, and then there's no switch to stop. You know, that
right.
this is the same. It's like you think you've got it under control, but by the time things are at a really bad stage, it's too late to realise. It's got hold of you, and you won't have the brain capacity or the intellect your brain's not functioning the right way to realise. Or even if it is, you may not care. You know,
that's right.
and that's what happens. It grabs you, and then it's too late. So you just can't let it get to that stage.
So did you know? You probably do know, but just for the people at home, today marijuana is being laced with ice. You know, so that you have you're buying more gear more often. Before you know it, your frontal lobe of your brain's hijacked. You know, they'll transfer you over onto some ice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're lacing it.
It's terrible.
So you got some kids in schools, but it's just a bit of pot. Is it? Is it?
You don't know.
We've actually had some people come in and work with us. I smoke a bit of pot. Well, we're abstinence based, so we're talking we're clean here. You need to kind of get help for that. And then they ended up going and testing their pot because they were seeing all the symptoms that we were talking about. That's what they were feeling, and they went and tested it, and it was laced with ice. So ecstasy tablets are being cut with ice. Ice today, there's things like acetone, Drano, glass, fillers, So I just want we like to raise awareness at every show, and that's part of our education program that we do roll out in schools and workplaces, so that we can protect people against, making the wrong choice. The pipe. I don't know. Did you smoke or did you shoot up? Or did you start?
No smoke.
You smoked?
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes people, lead into shooting up. I was always afraid of the needle because, I guess when I first was introduced to a pipe, my thought process was, it's not like a needle I'm shooting up or a tablet I can't control. It's just a bit of a smoke, no big deal, is it? And that's
you could assume that.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Just like a pipe.
Yeah. You don't think it won't have. I won't get addicted. It won't happen to me. I'll have it under control. I'll be able to manage. And very quickly it takes over your life, doesn't it?
It does, and it's the compounding. I read a really good book. It's about like the compounding effect, and you don't realise the effect of compounding interest or the compounding effect. So it's like one toke isn't that bad. You might have 10 goes once a week, but at the end of the year, that's 520 times.
Yeah.
And 520 times of doing something bad to yourself is very, very bad. And then if it's more than that, it can be up to the thousands by the end of the year. And if you look at the effects of what 1,000 times you use it is doing to your body, it's irreversible, and it's all it's doing is cutting your life down.
Yeah.
And it's going to make I've got grandparents now who are very ill, and they live healthy lives. And I see, you see the effects of aging, but if you use this at a young age, those effects are going to be a lot worse. And it's going to be a shorter life, but a lot more painful, slow death.
Definitely. There's some studies that the University of South Australia have done on youth who have used ice 6 times. 6 times, just 6 times. And they've got evidence to show brainwave patterns of that of similar to Parkinson's. 6 times. So that's what it does. It breaks down the neurological pathways in the brain, leaving gaps of areas in your brain that stops working. And in the past, the media have translated that as holes in my brain. But that is, there's holes, there's areas that aren't working. And that's what this drug does 6 times. I was like blown away. Really? No wonder, there's memory issues and there's short and long-term learning difficulties that I never used to have before, and so it's the effect of this drug on the actual brain structure, the hippocampus, the frontal lobe, the memory compartment of the brain, and equalising all the chemical balance in the brain again. It takes a long time.
Yep. And then there's some people that use it once or twice and never come back.
Yeah, they
and that can happen, and never ever come back.
Yep, I've heard of that too. Step into psychosis the first time they've used, and they don't come out of that.
Or if they do come out, they have therapy and counselling for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And the brain doesn't function properly and can't work out why.
Yeah, and medication a lot for depression and
And that doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't. And so, you know, medication is not the answer. Trying to self-medicate is not the answer. Really, if you're using out there and you're contemplating change, the way we can help you do that, and the way to do it is through a detox and stepping into a rehab and a type of system of support where you can be supported through your early stage of recovery. You had forced abstinence, and that would have been horrific, because you know the come down of that, the anxiety and the come down from that. Can you explain to the people at home what that was like?
Yeah, you just left on your own. You just deal with it on your own. Yeah, it's not good.
What were you
not good.
going through there? Was there a physical aspect or a mental aspect?
I think it's more for me, it's psychological.
Yep.
I don't think it was any physical. I couldn't eat. The watch house isn't a good place.
Yeah.
That's where you start.
Yeah.
And that's the watch house is probably the worst place you want to be. And then put into, if you smoke cigarettes, if you whatever you've been doing is suddenly stopped immediately. So that the watch house is the worst place in the world, and that's where you come down.
What's bad about it? What's bad in the watch house?
No, it's just
scary.
It's just filthy.
Yeah.
It's just a filthy place. Southport, if we're on the Gold Coast, Southport's terrible, but it's just a filthy place. You get treated like, just like nothing. You're thrown in a room that's completely plastic, and it's just you're left on your own. You don't get fed much, but the watch house is a bad place. But coming off it on your own, it's not a fun experience. Not at all.
What do you have any memories of your parents at that time when you got your family?
At the time of when I was locked up, or when I was using?
Both.
Oh yeah, it's just terrible. I broke my mum's heart.
Yeah.
My mum's a beautiful lady. Made her cry heaps of times. Yeah. And that you can never take that back.
Were you violent on the?
No, I wasn't violent. I'm not a violent person. Crime could be violence related, but I'm not a violent person physically. I didn't hurt anyone. But emotionally, mentally, and because I did come from a beautiful family, and all they have ever done is support me. Yeah. You know, and that was, I think that was more what hurt them, is the fact that they felt they couldn't help, and it was just through me pushing them away. So it had nothing to do with the way that I was brought up. It was completely to do with the choices that I made. Yep. That's what it comes down to, making choices. Yep. You got to make smart choices. Yep.
And that's what we do in education. We put everything out. This is what it is. This is what it looks like. This is the forms it comes in. This is how it affects you. This is the ingredients in it. And this is what psychosis is like. Let me walk you through that journey. Let me tell you about the anxiety, the depression, the suicide thoughts, the voices in your head, and the scattered lifestyle that comes with that. And I wish I had made different choices. I didn't have to embark on that, and spend 2 years in a dentist chair, or have kidney problems, or all of these things that you lose along the way through that journey. Some people lose family members. Some people lose their health. Others their mind. And 7 years. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. To be isolated from society. I just can't even begin to imagine.
It's a long time.
When was the point in there that you thought, I never want to do that again? Was there a specific point, or why didn't you come out and use again? I hear about people that come out and they they're angry and they just go, well,
I think once you come to, I couldn't tell you exactly the point in time, but once I was inside for whatever period where I realised that I didn't want to be there, that you're better than that. Everyone's better than jail. When I realised that my family was still supportive, was still visiting me, and that they're the ones that matter. They're the only ones that back you up, and that they're the people you should surround yourself with. The idiots that run around with you and want to use with you, and they're not there for you. None of them came to visit me in 7 years. So your family are the ones, and your close friends who aren't trying to pull you down with them on that sort of drug. You need to, that's the support network. Like you say, you need that good support. You need people who are striving for goals and aren't using that drug. You need to surround yourself with people not higher, but who aren't making the same poor choices as in relation to using this drug or any drug to as a good influence. But yeah, I realised quite quickly that I didn't ever want to use the drug again, because I didn't want to be in jail. I didn't want the separation from my family. So when I saw they were still being supportive, when they still loved me for who I am, and they could see it, that I was off that drug, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And they still knew that would come back. So I was lucky. But a lot of people don't have that. Yeah. And I guess it is coming out of jail, having that support network.
Yeah.
And look, some people don't have that.
No.
And that's hard, but like something like this would be perfect
Yeah.
if someone's comes out and they're at the risk of that. But some people just take longer to learn.
Yeah.
Hey.
And what happens is many times you are very blessed to have had your family.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people, isolate the family. They've hurt them to a point where the family can't take any more damage and devastation because they're so broken, and they cut ties. And what happens is, like in your instance, we hear about it every day. People go into prison and they come out and they've got no support. We're here for that. Yeah. We got teams, people like us who have been down certain journeys, and we can be there to support you. And we've got a platform here where you can embark on and get a sponsor, get a buddy, and integrate back into community. Help us, help us roll out education. And we work in prisons, we work in child safety, we work in schools and workplaces, with frontline staff in hospitals and police. We've worked in all different areas. So if you're out there and you're thinking, I'm watching this and I want to make a change, but don't know how, here's where you start. So pick up the phone. And we're here at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can leave a message on our answering machine. The number at head office is 0756656063, and we'll connect you with your state office. So we have offices in Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide and Cairns, and on the Gold Coast here, and we have people working out in Brisbane as well, and Sunshine Coast. So if you are that person and you're contemplating change and you're ready to take some action behind that, we're here to help you, and to help you create that path into recovery, because it is possible. But while you have the chance, now's the time to do that. I just want to do a big shout out for our families out there. There is family support available, and we do provide family support. The number to call is 0481 844 555. And we do online family support, we do on the ground family support. So please get in touch with the family support. If you're a family member that has a loved one in addiction and you don't know where to start and you need some help, and generally we'll work with the families and the family support, and then at the right time, when their loved one who's in addiction says, okay, I'm ready for change, that's when we can step in. People like us who've been there and can have a real conversation with your loved one that's in addiction. So we're here to help, guys, and that's why we do what we do, because we've been there, we've been gifted the opportunity to start again, to have, to be able to live the life that we were made to live, and live it abundantly, and not for self-destruction. So
it's a better life without it.
Yeah, definitely. So what's happening with you now? Like you're back at work, you've been out for...
I've been out for about 11 months.
Awesome. Awesome, fantastic.
Yeah, working. Family's good.
Going to the gym, obviously.
Going to the gym. Yeah. Once a week.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
No,
once a week, a bit more than once a day. It looks
no, life's so good when we're out, and so many people. I had so many phone calls from mates who I met in there and who've gone through the same thing as us. Yeah. And I spoke to them on the phone, and they said, "Man, life out here, like sober, is so much better."
It's a gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely. We're so lucky. When everything's taken away from you in there or in life, everything is taken away from you out here when you're on this drug. It's quite similar. It sucks. Yeah. At the time you think it's better, it's not. But life is so good. But I'm working. Yeah, got a new girlfriend.
Awesome.
Got my family. The simple things. Yeah. Eating at restaurants, eating good food, because the food out here is better than in there.
Yeah,
yeah, just work, just all the little things, the beach, being able to choose when I wake up and walk out of my room.
Yep.
Being able to choose what time I eat food and what to eat, being able to visit my mum and dad, just everything, just life's good.
That's amazing. And we are so blessed that you could share that insight with us tonight, because, you know, you don't want to end up having to, some people have been there for life, you know, from consequences associated with what they do addicted to this drug. Kyle, if you had to leave one last message out there with the people tonight, what would be one word that you would explain this drug by?
One word?
Yeah.
Can I use two?
One word.
Evil.
Evil. Yeah. Okay, if it was two?
Pure evil.
Pure evil. Yeah. Right.
Destructive.
Yeah. And we're here, you know, watch our shows, because each and every single person that comes on this show has gone through that journey, and they're all saying the same message. You know, our message is not even once. We'd take it back in a heartbeat if we could, but we can't. So we're here to warn you. You don't need it. You don't actually need to go down the broken, that broken road and possibly not come out. It's not worth it.
Not worth it.
And if you had a lasting message to leave out there with families who, are hurting out there. There's a lot of families hurting out there. Their loved ones, their kids, their husbands are entrapped in this world, and they don't know how to get out. If you had to leave a message for them, what would that be?
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like families who have got kids or loved ones on this drug, like stick with them. If you know there's a good person inside, they can come back.
Yeah.
So just like my family did.
Yeah.
They stuck with me, and because they knew all that was hard. But the things I did on that drug aren't me.
That's right.
My mum still says, like the things that I did that resulted in prison, that wasn't me. That was me on drug. It was me. I own full responsibility for that.
Yeah.
But the choices I made and the person I was isn't me. So just support, help, and it's not the end of the road.
No.
It's whilst they're on the drug, but once you're out of it, there is light in the tunnel. You can come back, but it was nothing my family did. It was through my own choices.
Yep.
And hopefully the consequences of my choices, what I've said tonight, is enough of a warning.
Yep.
Maybe to choose not to make the same choices I did.
That's it. I hope so too. And the best thing that a family can do is to get equipped with information, and to understand what's going on in the loved one's brain, why they're behaving like they're behaving, how you can help. And we do have some training available on our website. It's called Sammy Brief, and it's a 2-hour training that you can click on there, and you can actually learn about the cycle of addiction. You can learn about the cost versus the benefits, how to have that conversation with your loved one at the right time, and to look for the resources as well, to be able to help your loved one when they say, yeah, I'm ready for change. We are here to help, please. Again, I'm going to give you that number. The head office number is 0756656063. Families out there, family support number is 0481844555. So if you're needing some support and some help, please give us a call, and we'd love to help you.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, my family thought that something was going wrong in my life. That's why I was using it all the time, and that wasn't the case. No, I just wanted, that it wasn't it wasn't their fault. It wasn't that anything was wrong. I just got caught up. And originally, a fun party lifestyle, what I thought, and then just all went bad. Yeah. But
And that's right. That's really important to say, because a lot of families think it's something I've done. I didn't bring up my kids right. What did I do? It's my fault.
That wasn't the case with me now, and nothing was wrong in my life.
No, me neither. No. To be honest, I wasn't masking anything. It was just, wanted to fit in, wanted to be loved, wanted curious. Trusted the people that gave me the gear, and really, and before you know it, you're entrapped.
It's too late. It's too late. You pass that three or four drink stage. As an analogy, 3 or 4 drink stage, and it's too late.
That's right.
You're stuck.
We're going to reach out for any questions out there. You have given hope to Kyle, to someone tonight, Kyle. Thank you.
Someone wrote in and
Awesome.
So you've given them hope for their child.
Awesome. That's beautiful. And guys, please, I urge you to share this post on your Facebook page, and to people that you know, because you don't know who's suffering quietly, who hasn't spoken about it, who out there needs help but they haven't come out and said I need support. Share it, because the more people that can hear and have a platform to reach out for help, the better. So yeah, it's not about us, but it's about the people out there that may need support, they don't know where to turn. So please share this post on your Facebook for us tonight. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your journey and your heart, you know. And this journey does change you. And if we can even get this message across to one person that potentially might pick up a pipe or might pick up, you know, whether you're smoking it, snorting it, shooting it up, taking it in a tablet, all forms of ice taking affect the person the same way. The only thing that is different is that shooting it up, it hits you quicker. It's not any better or any worse for your body, and the consequences aren't any different. So all forms of ice taking have the same devastating results. All drugs are bad, we know that, but all drugs have negative consequences, and in life you have positive or negative consequences. Choose the positive ones on your body, because some of the stuff you can't take back.
That's right. It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late, you know. Like you can't take back 7 years. You know.
It's gone.
Do you ever reflect on that and go, what you could have done different?
Yep.
Yeah.
I see it, yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of time.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have all, like I come, everyone's married or kids and houses, and I'm back to where I was when I was 22. But that's all right.
That's okay.
That's all right.
That's okay.
I'm free and I'm
you're
healthy.
Free, that's right. And you've got a chance to go and do life the way you wanted it, in your terms,
that's
Kyle.
Right.
You know, and that's very inspiring for those out there who are contemplating change and thinking, can I do this? Well,
you can.
Kyle's done it, I've done it, and many others have done it, so you can do it. You just need a bit of support. So we're here for you, and thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for joining us.
Thanks for
Can I give you a hug?
listening. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're such an inspiration to many out there, and our message out there to you. Do you remember what we did? Not even once, guys. Not even once. It's not worth it. Yeah.
Not even once.
Love to all. Speak to you next week.